You said in June that tech giants should not be broken up and that the DOJ's antitrust department could be better used. What are your thoughts on the new lawsuit that the DOJ just filed against Google?
Well, I won't prejudge the outcome, but I am concerned about anti-competitive practices. I'm concerned about market consolidation, especially as it relates to some of the giants. They would probably argue that their products essentially are free and it can't be a monopoly if it's free. But I do believe that it's not free because our data is really what's being monetized. And so perhaps that's where the real reform can come in, is making sure that we know better how our data is used, and perhaps that we are compensated, like a data dividend of sorts, or a data tax that would fund essential services in our country. So I do have those concerns. I also wrote legislation as it relates to how social media platforms are used in elections, that there would be a duty to report if any social media platform had foreign interference on its platform, that they would be required to tell the FBI. We saw in 2016 that many platforms were paid in rubles by Russian intelligence services to go after Hillary Clinton and help Donald Trump, and no one told the FBI. So I do believe there has to be more responsibility. I'm also open to just how we can overall reform these social media platforms where they do feel more and more like the town square and a public utility, and whether or not we should have higher expectations for them. So that's the benefit, I think, of having more and more younger members of Congress, people who are either digital natives or just comfortable with the technology, that you understand the benefits and the cost. I'll also say, though, as a parent, my wife would say, I like, as a working mom, that I can just click through 3 times and have diapers on the porch within 12 hours. There's certainly benefits that tech has brought us, but I think balancing that with wages, making sure that tech workers are paid fairly and that our data is not compromised, is something we have to get right.
Yeah, and I think you already sort of segued into my next question, and that was about how the government could best regulate how these tech companies harness data and confront disinformation.
Right, and so yes, it would be the antitrust. I'm interested to follow the antitrust case against Google, because I believe we have underused antitrust. But again, as I said, one of the challenges on antitrust is that so many of these platforms are free, and so it just makes it harder to argue that they are anti-competitive. However, as you saw, there's the Amazon example that Senator Warren talks a lot about, and going back to diapers, diapers.com sold their products on Amazon, and then eventually Amazon Essentials came up with their own diapers and put diapers.com out of business. And there are real questions as to what type of data was Amazon retrieving from users who were trying to go on Amazon to buy diapers.com, and were they retargeting that data to sell lower cost diapers and then put diapers.com out of business. These are new world problems, and not necessarily what was contemplated in original antitrust laws.